Hi everyone, I'm Andrew Bell, a Partner Development Specialist with AWS. I get the privilege of looking after our storage partners and go-to-market across APJ. Today, I'm joined by Raymond Goh, Pre-Sales Director for Veeam across APJ.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for coming back.
Today we're recording a 3-part series on the value of Veeam and AWS with 3 particular use cases. One, which we spoke about in the previous video, is backing up to cloud and why customers are looking at disconnecting from tape and storing data in S3 and how that helps them reduce cost, reduce risk, and really reduce recovery time or increase flexibility. The second video we want to talk about is disaster recovery and migrations and how Veeam can really help fulfill some of those outcomes. When I talk to customers, I hear a lot of different reasons why they're moving to cloud. Whether it's to increase agility or to improve staff productivity, they might be looking to manage end-of-life software or hardware. They might be looking at managing scale, but data center consolidation is really one of those driving functions. So today, Ray, I think we probably don't need to draw too much. We just want to talk through it. But let's talk about data center consolidation, because I think over the years, a lot of organizations have adopted multiple data centers to provide disaster recovery across these 2 DCs, and that's becoming expensive. Multiple sets of infrastructure, managing patching, having to do refreshes and migrations. So let's talk about that. So do you see customers looking to exit the second data center?
For sure. I think the consolidation is the key point of that. If you could take a look at the other cloud environment or what you have as software as service over here, or just start off writing or drawing out over here, you will have your virtual workloads that's residing on the cloud. And this is also one of the workloads that you're looking at consolidating into the AWS cloud environment, right? And you exactly touched the point on disaster recovery or migration. I feel that disaster recovery or migration kind of goes hand in hand. Okay, when we talk about migration, we spoke about how we get our data into the S3, right? And obviously the S3 can be restored into the EC2 as a form of disaster recovery or as a form of migration, right? Yeah. And obviously the virtual machines over here can also be consolidated into protecting into the S3 environment. So you have your on-premises data centers, you have your other clouds, virtual workloads that can be consolidated into one single cloud out there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's great. I think one of the reasons that customers love you guys is that anything you back up is portable, right? So, whether it's a VMware or Hyper-V or a virtual machine from maybe a different cloud provider, you provide that kind of cross-platform portability. So, if you're looking to do a disaster recovery or a migration, you do have a single platform that can kind of manage sort of a very distributed IT landscape.
Exactly, Andrew. I think you touched on a big point over here, whereby one of the advantages of Veeam and AWS technology together is to provide the cloud mobility, whereby we can move data accordingly to where you need into AWS. As you mentioned, we can get the data back into your on-premises if you want that to happen too. Right. Yeah. And one key point that I'd like to touch on over there is Veeam does have a replication capabilities, and we work very well with the VMC, VMware Cloud Foundation in AWS, whereby you can replicate, not just backup as we mentioned earlier on, but replicate at a lower RPO and RTO into the cloud environment and do a cut over from a disaster recovery standpoint, failover as well as fail back into your on-premises environment.
Yeah, I think that's great, because you talk about VMC and why customers are adopting that technology. I think there's still, VMware have a huge number of customers, all across the globe, and maybe the idea of moving to the cloud can be daunting. But if they can take the tool sets that they're using inside the data center, easily move them with a great, very cost effectively into AWS and leverage VMware Cloud in AWS, and still use the same tool that they've been using for the last 16 years to protect those workloads for ongoing protection, but also disaster recovery and even potentially migration. I think that provides a really easy way for them to move to the cloud and helps them really de-risk that entire journey.
For sure. I think there's a big part about the orchestration and automation part from a single platform standpoint. And what we're looking over here is a single technology platform through AWS and Veeam and the managed cloud service provider that you see over here. And at the same time, Andrew, you have touched the key point over there, right? Consolidating it at the same time, providing you that data mobility, that you can move data accordingly to your needs.
Awesome. So being able to exit the data center should help them reduce cost.
Yep.
Because with DR, you're only really paying for when it's on, right? Yep. Which is one of the excellent benefits about moving workloads to AWS, right? You're helping them to really reduce recovery time because they don't need to convert, a VMware backup to back to on-premise. They can convert a VMware backup directly into something like an EC2, and it helps them reduce risk. They've got one platform. They don't need to think about where their data is. They know that they can recover anything from wherever it may be from Veeam into AWS.
Yep, exactly.
Fantastic. Thanks everyone. That's part 2. We have one more part which we're going to talk about how customers are then using Veeam platform for not only protection of data in the data center, not only helping to consolidate with disaster recovery and migrations, but also then how they're using Veeam to protect everything inside cloud as well. So join us for part 3 soon.